All right, let's get us started. Hi, everyone. It's Thursday afternoon. It's 3 o'clock. We're at a GSN webinar. Welcome. I'm Joanna Roach, the Executive Director of GSN Planet. We're here with Megan Temesco, who is our fearless leader of the control booth and all things Zoom. Thank you, Megan, as ever. And today we have the absolute privilege of being here with Cindy Keske, who is the owner of Rock On Minerals and Design. And she is going to share some of her incredible knowledge of gemstones with us. So welcome, Cindy. It's our privilege and our honor to have you this afternoon.
It's my privilege to be with you as well. I love to be coming from my house of gemstones or my office of gemstones or right now the studio of gemstones because it's so energetic. And Rudy and I have worked with gemstones for 7 or 8 years very intensely. And we got our, long time ago, we used to do a lot of camping and a lot of being outside and noticing that there was these beautiful artifacts, gemstones that were actually in their raw out in the middle of Utah, Arizona, California, Wyoming, lots of different places that we were at. So we became interested in the stones and started to collect those stones, bring them back to our house and to our yard and start to work with them in different ways. And eventually, when we needed to make some shifts and changes in our lives, we decided that we needed to do something with gemstones. So about that time, I ran into John Eisen with VitaJewel doing a show here in Denver at the Denver Gem Show. And we got to talking and he started to teach me more about the gemstones and he introduced Rudy and I to some gem experts in Germany, which was such a privilege because they helped introduce us to the energies, the healing, the holistic wellness aspects of the stones themselves. And they thought I would be just great to bring these into North America. Well, it took a lot of guts because I didn't know how the stones worked on the body, so I had to start working with them. So as we started to order the stones in and we worked with massage therapists, and I started to have personal massage therapists that I work with, and I would give them a set of stones, let them work those stones on my body, and then later tell them what those stones were for and the energies that they had. So we worked with this for several years and then had the audaciousness to open up Rock On Minerals and Design about 5 years ago at this point. And I just want to give that credit and thanks to John Eisen because really what he helped me do was see that there was energy in the gemstones and that could heal the body. At that time, I will have to tell you something very important. I got rid of drinking from plastic, which is very, very good for the environment to get rid of plastic since it's ruining the planet. And he really encouraged me to drink only from the water, the gemstone water. And when I started to do that, my body started to heal. Headaches went away. I started to work with amber and some different stones and joint pains went away. I started to work with more jaspers and muscle pains went away. So really what I found myself doing was self-healing with these stones, which was totally amazing to me. So hence we opened up Rock On Minerals and Design, started to put the collections together and really found out that this is very new to most of America. Most people are not used to working with stones, excuse me, for healing. We work with herbs, we work with oils, we work with vitamins and minerals, we work with all different things, but we don't work with gemstones for a healing object. So let's talk about the different stones that can be used in places of your home very simply. And what I want to tell you is don't be overwhelmed or thinking, oh my gosh, that's way too many stones. Because every time you see me, you're going to see a lot of these stones for a lot of different reasons. So just try to focus on one thing that might be an issue for you or a way to use it in your household or in your office. I will primarily focus on the office because don't we spend most of our time at the office, which we probably shouldn't. We need to learn how to get out of it a little bit. And especially this last year with COVID being around, we've had to spend far more time in our houses than we want to. So many of us have made our office at home the office that we go to every single day. So in saying that, this will help you out a lot. let's first talk about the office. We're going to have you come down. Now I have different stones that I use in the office. First of all, I use a stone on my door when I need to close the door, indicating that I'm in session, or I'm busy, or I'm on the phone. There's no disturbances. So this will let other people know that you work with, or children, or anybody else at home, that it's a do not disturb. We actually have these made up that go with each one of our gemstone collections. But I like agate, and I'm an agate fan because we found so many different shapes and sizes and colors of agate when we were first in Utah and starting to gemstone hunt. I also have an agate bracelet on, so I always wear agate because it's the coping stone. Learning how to cope, slow down, deal with. It's a protecting stone, and it's calming energy. So as I get started with this, I want to let you know that there are very active stones like red jasper, yellow calcite, normally stones with a lot of color. They have a lot of energy. And then there are neutral stones that carry energy, like clear quartz crystal. We use it in dishes. We use it in a lot of different things that we do. Here's a sphere that can direct energy so powerfully right within your office. You can see the inside of it. Just looking at it calms you down. But clear quartz crystal will actually carry the energy. So if it's being worked with amethyst, which is a very calming stone, it'll carry that energy. Let's just put that pointing up towards me. That would be great to do that. And I was telling you about very calming stones, then there's neutral stones, and then there's energetic stones. So knowing that stones have an energy, you don't want to just mix anything with everything because it might really look pretty, or wear all of those bracelets at one time up the arm, because the energies get blocked. Because you can't have an energetic piece and drink coffee and over here drink calming tea and calm you down at the same time. It just doesn't work. They clash. So you really want to stay with one or the other. And that's really important when you're wearing your jewelry or working with stones in your house. So some of the things that I put in the office, many of us wear an arm brace for something, carpal tunnel, joint pains, different things at different times, different places of the body. This is a technique that you can do. This is a very flat piece of amber. We buy it just for these things, and you stuff it down into the brace, and then you wear the brace. And that amber getting close to the joints helps with joint pain. It helps with swelling and relieving inflammation. I just love it. I used to live in it several years ago, and I think because I've healed so much, I don't wear it as much. But if I get a little bit of carpal tunnel and spending too much time on the computer, I will put this amber brace on. So let me put that right down here. Now, my favorite piece in here is rolling these stones on the feet. Now, whether you wear socks or whether you're barefoot, these stones can go down on the floor. Now, if you have a wood floor, you're in trouble. You have to get a little piece of carpet to put down there and put these on the carpet. But if you have carpet, it's great. You're going to put these stones, different sizes, different shapes, and these are all just for reasons in the office, slowing down. And this is a smaller one that you can use up underneath your toes. Now, this is great for reflexology. So if you take this and put it underneath your toes, running it back and forth will help get to all those points that are on the bottom of your feet that need to be worked on. And it also helps your toes curl and wrap around it, which is strengthening those little tendons and muscles that are in our feet that need to be worked more and more all the time. These bigger spheres work really well when you're just rolling the big foot over it. And the more you learn about reflexology points on the bottom of your feet, the more you'll have fun with working with them. The amethyst druze can always clear other stones in your office. So if you take a small slab, of course we get bigger slabs for different spas, whatever they want, whatever size they want. You can lay stones on here, and amethyst is the only stone that will clear the energies and keep it for you. These stones that are in your office that you use every day should be your stones. You should not let other people come in and mess with your stones, because if you do, they're releasing their energy onto your stones, And then when you go to pick them up and work with them again, they might have a negative energy. So it's good to clean your stones periodically, but if you're the only one using them, then you're pretty good with that. Now, this is for the bottom of your feet. Let me move to something super, super fun, which is our Joya product. We love our Joya because spheres are very powerful and there's an energy that comes around them. But when you use them inside a Joya piece, this is a great massager. So think about using this on your calves, on your thighs, rolling it anywhere around your abdomen area, anywhere up on your throat, just almost anywhere. So this is a perfect stone that rolls. It can release tension right here real quickly. Oh, I love that. But this one is your hip stone. And I use magnesite because magnesite is especially great for muscles. Any kind of muscle tension, magnesite stone. And when it's used in this particular product, you can use this on your hip. So you just roll yourself over in your chair, put this on the hip, and roll it around in there. You can even sit on it. Just put it right back on the chair and just sit on it, moving around it. You'll figure it out, is what I'm saying. You'll figure that one out. It feels so good. And you'll feel the energy right away with using these stones on your body. Like just when I did that, it was an amazing feeling. I mean, magnesite is a fabulous stone, whereas this aventurine stone is more of a relaxing stone. It goes well with magnesite. It's in one of our sets collectively together. But it's just a little bit different. This is my absolute fave, magnesite. I always, always, always keep a smoky quartz. Now, smoky quartz will help with your EMFs from your computer rays. So I like smoky quartz used in the office. And if I really have time and I need to slow down and think about something, many of you deal with an employee that you have to think about, someone you work with you have to make a decision about. You just need a break from that. Maybe you're on the phone call and think, oh my gosh. It's a great time to pick up a mala and just meditate on calmness, calmness, calmness. It just slows you down. And I also have a shorter version of the mala because I can't always take that kind of time and do that. It's just a strip. And I actually like a lava on the bottom of it because you can put a little bit of essential oil right into the lava and it will smell all day. And I love scents to calm me down, especially lavender. I love ylang ylang. I just love certain smells and I love different smells. So I play with essential oils, getting to know them by using them either on this or I put them in my hands, rub it together, and then just smell and calm yourself down. Just little tidbits. The thumb stone. Sometimes called a worry stone, but I don't like to use the name worry at all because worry is a negative word. It's more of a concentration, just, you know, releasing some stress. Thumb stone. And you can press on this and it will relieve some energy. So I sit those all over. Whoops, sorry about that. I use those all over. Are you on me?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. In my office and in different places so I can chill out. This is also a stone I use underneath my feet. It's also on the floor. Not a very pretty stone, but dumortierite is one of the most powerful stones there is. And we get, excuse me, we get these in a longer shape and they don't have pointed ends, so they're easier to use. You put that underneath the foot and you can rock the foot back and forth, relieving stress right underneath your feet. So in addition to the spheres, this is a great one for starters. And it moves pretty well too. And this dumortierite is not very slick. You don't need oil when you're doing this kind of work. Most gemstones do not need any oil, but massage therapists love to add the oil, and the oil will also penetrate the skin and moisten it, so, and hydrate it. So that's why we use oil on the skin. Last but not least, I think in this group of stones is a tourmaline, and this is a palm stone. Now, tourmaline is rather hard to find. So when it's available, I like to get it in different shapes and sizes because it also really absorbs EMFs. And so I sit this in between my computer screen and me. And I can tell you, hands down, when you use tourmaline in this fashion, it relieves some of those stress headaches that come from just eyeballing that computer all day long. We all get them, and some of us are a little bit more prone to others. So you might want to use a couple pieces of tourmaline. You can even use it as a tumbled small pieces and put it in a small glass container, like a crystal glass. Try to keep away from plastic altogether. Plastic is just not good. And crystals love to be stored in a clear quartz because they'll collect that energy, and it's just stone is with stone. All right.
Cindy, quick question. People are asking the name again of that longer stone, the purple one.
Dumortierite. Dumortierite. D-U-M-O-R-T-I-E-R-I-T-E. D-U-M-O-R-T-I-E-R-I-T-E. Dumortierite. It's not a very well-known stone, but it became a very powerful stone when we started to use it in our Serenity group. So it's mixed with magnesite. Very calming, take it easy type stone, relieves fear and anxiety. But and remember, when you see these different shapes and sizes, just because I might mention amethyst or another stone, that doesn't mean that all stones come in all shapes and sizes. So sometimes we have to work with what we can get, but this is a beautiful piece. We do get it here from a dealer in the United States. That's great. And it doesn't have pointed ends, so it's really not dangerous. You can't hurt yourself with this stone. It's heavy, it's easy to use. You can use it with or without oil. It absorbs quickly into the skin. It's just a great stone to work with and real powerful. When you have a massage with this, you would notice the difference right away. I always, now, I'm not real mystical, even though some of y'all might think that I am. But I always work with the pendulum. And I have my own pendulums made. And the secret is that the pendulum is made on a copper wire. It's supposed to be a better transmitter with the stones. And when you start to work with the pendulum, it should only be your pendulum. But I will literally ask very simple questions, yes or no, with my pendulum. And when you pick up your pendulums to start to work with it, number one, you're focusing on something very, very specific. I always remind it that this is yes, and this is no, and now I'm going to clear that energy. So I might ask a real simple question like, is this property a place that really I can connect my energies with? And I wait for it to answer. And like I said, I'm not real mystical. However, I will take it with a grain of salt sometimes, or most of the time I start to believe it because it's always right. It is. And it picks up on your energy. But when we work with massage on the bodies, we will actually find an area that might be out of whack. And when the person has their head down in the cradle, you can put this on their back and say, tell me if your hips are bothering you or your upper thoracic area is bothering you or which muscles. And many times they say, oh, well, I just need to know all over massage, nothing's bothering me. Well, from a massage therapist's point of view, you can find out what areas need to work on easily with the pendulum. So most of the companies that I have worked with, my clients, they have pendulums made with the same stones that they're using in their sets. So when they're doing a massage and you have 3 different stones, everything that they're using, Joya, reflexology pieces, acupressure pieces, gemstone pieces, are all in that same grouping. So we're not using stones outside of the 3, ever. Make sense? Okay. I think I showed you everything that you use right here. We talked about those clear points. We get these in all different sizes and shapes. They make great paperweights. If nothing else, I use all of the stones inside my office for something. Everything has to have a purpose, even though I have a very big office, Okay, have we covered all of those things? Are there any other real specific questions about the office area that you're being asked?
We actually have a few questions that came in along the way. So let me just go back up to the top.
See if they're office.
Do you believe that the clear quartz also regenerizes other gemstones?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It carries the energy of that gemstone. So this is, for instance, This is a VitaJewel product. You have clear quartz crystal in it, and I have amber with it. I specifically had VitaJewel create this and talk to him about using amber because I was doing a complete amber massage just for joints, just amber. But we use clear quartz with it because it'll take that energy of the amber and ramp it up.
Right.
Makes sense?
Makes sense.
Okay.
You have to clear the energy that amethyst has picked up from other stones.
No, that's a great question. Rudy, am I wrong about it? No, because
Can you
ask it again to make sure Rudy hears that.
Do you have to clear the energy that amethyst has picked up from other stones?
So that shelf, that amethyst druze that you're using to clear the other stones?
It's the only stone that will not pick up all those other energies. So as you see that sitting here, it's not picking up those other stones' energy. It's only clearing.
Right.
The only thing I would add to the amethyst druze, so maybe once a month, you clean it anyway, you have to cleanse it, wash it, and then put it into the sun just for 1 hour at midday, because amethyst fades really fast.
Mm-hmm.
So but amethyst you use for clearing other stones.
Right.
Okay.
Do you clear your stones during the full moon, and do you leave them like out during the full moon?
Yes, I do. I actually did not believe that at first. But again, part of my education was just teaching myself and what was going on in the house. And I found out that if we took the VitaJewel wands, the long gem vials,
yeah,
or my stones that I was practicing with, and we left them out in a full cycle, they energize themselves. And you'll start to know, because when you work with a stone at first, you might go, oh, one stone feels the same as another. But over a period of time and using them, the person that you're working on, and maybe even you, starts to feel the difference from it. It's subtle because gemstones really work with the vibration. But if we just take an herb once for ourselves or drink a tea with something in it, we don't necessarily feel the results from it. Even if we smell lavender and go, I should be going to sleep here pretty soon, and we sniff the lavender, we right away don't get the result from it. It's with time that we stop, think about it, we're into the moment, and we use that gemstone or that herb. We start to get the energy and the vibration from the product.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a great question. It's a great question.
Someone is commenting about the citrine stone not being able to go out under the moon.
Well, she could be right. I've never heard that. I just basically know that if you take your gemstones and really want to cleanse them into nature, the sun and the moonlight is supposed to be the cycle. She might be absolutely right. She probably is. I don't take all of these stones that you're seeing here and put them outside very much. I like to just open my windows, and I'm fortunate enough to have a lot of windows in every house. If you're in an office or you're in a place that it's very closed in, it's probably important to get the stones outside to get some energy again. Mm-hmm. I can tell you that I really notice it with the VitaJewel water. And if the water is not producing any bubbles for me in there from the gemstones, I know that the container needs cleaned. And those stones need a break. They need to go into some sunlight. They need to be cleansed with some organic soap and water, and then they will start to create the bubbles. Mm-hmm. And with VitaJewel, I always see bubbles on my wands. Always, always, always on the gemstones. That's how I know that this energy comes from all of these different stones. I also know because I'm so healthy, and I wasn't before. And I was plagued with headaches, a low-grade headache, 90% of my life for years. For years. I was used to it. I was used to taking something and dealing with that. But when I started to be around the gemstones and they were everywhere, the headaches started to disappear. Like I said, joint pains, muscle, things started to go away. And I would just think, I never attributed the stones until I started to learn more about them. That was hard. Yeah, great question. Good point. I'll have to look into that one that you're talking about.
But do you find that when you work with the stones, they either carry temperature or pick up temperature?
Absolutely, great question. And this really comes up in the spa world. because their biggest concern is how I'm going to get those gemstones heated and put on the body. Well, you cannot heat gemstones too high because they lose their quality and they crack. So you can't go above 110, but somewhere around 90 or 100 is just perfect. And when you start to work with the gemstone, between your energy and the person that they might be massaging on, it's going to get warm really quickly, and it's going to retain that heat. Some places are colder than others. Joanne, you're in a very cold area of the country. That I know.
Yeah.
And I'm here where we get a lot more sunshine and a lot more warmth. So it just depends upon your area. There's a place that carries us woodlock outside of Pennsylvania.
Right.
And all those stones in 3 different areas are coming out this year. And that's her biggest concern. That place is rather cool all the time. So they have to heat their gemstones a little bit, but you can't heat them too much. It's not really good for stones. More natural, the better.
Quickly, someone's asking about the mala, the green mala. What stones are they?
I have my malas made with somebody in Boulder. It's a company that puts them together for me. You're looking at these? Is this the one you asked about?
Yeah, she's asking the stone. What stone is that?
It's agate.
Agate.
And a little bit of nephrite jade in there. It's our security collection. So each one of these actually is made for a different collection of our gemstone therapies. Great question. Great question. Agate's got a lot of different colors in it, but she's got nephrite jade in the middle of this. Because jade is a neutral stone. It does go with the agate. It's also a neutral stone. Okay, I think I answered your question on that one. That's a great question. All right, so I'm going to flip over here because I think sometimes when we're in our office, we need some quiet time. So I want to show you these stones. Like this is agate. And this is a very nice shaped stone. I like it because I can use it as a paperweight anywhere that I want to. I really use it on my books and reading and holding the pages down. But agate, again, is very gentle in spirit, very protective. And it's good for these COVID times. It helps you with the ability to cope, maintain, and it's just gentle. And so you can see that this agate is different from that agate. Agate, it just changes all the time. And this is the agate on here too. A couple pieces of nephrite jade in there, but that's agate too. And I get those very organically. They come from Northern Africa, a very special place. This pendulum happens to be blue lace agate, and I love blue lace agate. When you think of blues, you have to think about that throat chakra area, and it's got the amber in it. So I use pendulums in different areas. What I have here in my quiet time, I think we just need to get out of our office and go be quiet, and that can be in a bedroom, but it's better yet in a chair in an office or a study. Again, I have clear quartz, and you can lay these on the eyes, and they really make you just meditate, slow down, be quiet. And then there's a third piece for your third eye. So I can lay those on me, either with a chakra set or without. And then here's amber pieces. Amber is a tree resin, and it's millions of years old. It's not a stone, and it's lighter. And if you feel amber, you can just see how they come. They come in different sizes of pieces. And I hand choose my pieces for my clients or for a set that have facial sizes, reflex sizes, and body sizes. These are body because I can get a lot of grip in them, in on the hip. But if you look at this real closely, you will actually see, can you get that? Can you see it? There are ants in there.
Bugs, yeah.
Bugs that are prehistoric. Isn't that amazing? Can you see them all up there? There are little black spots in there.
Wow.
Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Can you?
Yeah.
And you get really close and you can see their legs and their antennas and their hands. It's really quite amazing.
Wow.
Quite amazing. So we use those for hips. And I just love it. I mean, amber is my favorite piece to work with because of the joints and the issues. And it's so relaxing. So that's a personal space. And again, if I'm feeling like really upbeat and need some energy, I will meditate with red jasper. because red jasper is very active stone, extremely active stone. Whereas this blue chalcedony and blue quartz is much more of a calming stone. So when I put this thing together, it's just beautiful stones. And we can't get these all the time, only periodically. But I like it because this will calm me down. So if I'm feeling way too anxious, then this will calm me down. So that's how I use that. And I also keep my things in the drawers. Rudy, before we move on to the other side, I do want to bring up the fact of Joya, because these are facial pieces that you can use at home. And you have different types of stones for different reasons. So not only at home, but you can use this in your spa or wherever you are. And here's that hematite, that really strong one. They pop right in and out of these pieces that you would use around the face. And in a minute, I'll share how I use those every night around my eyes and on my throat and so forth in my home regimen. We have rose quartz, snowflake obsidian, so different ones for different reasons here, some unakite and magnesite. So you can flip out the ends and change them up. Why don't you just bring it down right here? And then there's your ones for the body, the Joya pieces. So you can flip those in and out as well. So, you know, we pull different things out of our tea cabinet for how we're feeling when we use our herbs or use different products or different foods. We might as well use the stones the same way. A lot to take in. But those are the Joya products. I do want to talk a little bit about this mystical stone, because you could use this selenite in different areas of your house. And if you reach out to me, this is going to be a gift, I'll just say it right now. It will shield you against outside influences. And we have one that comes clear and one that comes pointed. But it will calm you against being irritated. And I think many times when we get upset or irritated, we can just gaze upon this stone sitting by our computer and just go into a little bit of a, just calm down, you know, let the energy out, let it shield me against any outside activity. It's just a magical, mystical stone. It's just really fun. I've not really used it on the body. It's not involved in any of our groups right now. I would be willing to. However, I have noticed slivers sometimes come off of different pieces. So I don't know that I want to use that on the body for massage. Make sense? That's just my limited resource. Okay, so this set over here becomes your bathroom set, your bedroom set, etc. Bath stones are very energetic. This is the only unorganic product that is in my area. And it's because you can see through it. At home, I would use a nice muslin. And in my bathroom, I have it inside a muslin pack. And I can drop that right into the bathtub and relax with that. And I can actually put bath salts, Epsom salts, or oils, or anything else that I'm going to use for my bath for wellness reasons. And I put that in with the stones and drop it in the bath. Here's your Joya pieces for the eyes. And I'll just put the product right on my face and then rub those in with the Joya product. These are small acupressure reflexology pieces. This is a smoky quartz, so that's very relaxing to the tissues. Rose quartz is as well. We all know about rose quartz. It's been used for a long time. And then there's your amethyst. Now, amethyst can work in some different ways. First of all, you can get a better grip on the product. I can also do more points here in my hand. So I actually put these right next to my bed. Number one, amethyst is very calming. And I can do some point work on my hands and release some extra tension. Wherever you feel a little bit of tension is where you want to start rotating the end of the stone. But I want to share something very important when you're using stones. This is like a pencil or a pen. So the energy is most effective in coming down through this point, just like a pen. So if I need to bring energy into the body, and I do this with all forms of massage, I'm going to magnify that energy right down through the point. If I need to bring the energy out and it's stagnant in there, I'm going to do just the opposite, rotate it and let the energy come out this end. Never point the stone right back at your own body or a person that you might be working on if you're a therapist, because then you're going to get the energy back right here. I did this with a therapist on one property, and she did a massage that way, and she felt terrible afterwards. I said, well, how's the person on the table? She said, she was terrible. She just told me all these bad things and all this energy needed to come out. And then she gave herself the energy from that person by literally working those stones coming back into her. And that happened in Telluride up at Madeline. So it's quite interesting. Did I get everything? Oh, blue chalcedony, probably the most powerful stone that's on this tray is blue chalcedony. Blue chalcedony drains lymph. So these are two pieces that I've handpicked out of my collections to leave next to my bed. And that's generally where I will do it at the end of my treatment, right before I go to sleep. And you can drain your own lymph with or without any other oil or cream. Always go up to down, bringing it down and out. So you want to go 3 times back on the neck, the throat, and down the front. And then you can pump these nodules here. And there's other areas of the body that have lymph nodules that need to be drained. So it gets that stuff moving. Blue chalcedony is a very powerful stone. It's also a very expensive stone, and it's hard to find. So when we find places that have it, oh, we have to get a lot of it. It's blue chalcedony. Oil. Our gemstone oil from Farfalla in Switzerland, they don't sell here in the United States, but we're the carriers in the States, has a gemstone infusion, and it also has essential oils in each different kind. If you wanted to make your own gemstone oil at home, you can use any type of glass, but get a good, I use jojoba oil because I like it. There are 4 or 5 really good oils that you can use as well, but whatever you're using, you guys are in the business. And then just put your own gemstones, clean gemstones, down into the oil, leave them down there for about 30 days, and you'll start to feel the difference in the oil because the gemstones information is embedded back into the oil. Pretty interesting, huh? Pretty interesting. Okay, so we've talked about all of that. We've talked about all of our office. Let's talk about the chakra set. This is what I call the serious nap. Now, it may end up being a meditation for you. It may very well be a nap. I always consider the best meditation time is when you want to fall asleep afterwards. Then it's really great. So this happens to be a gemstone filled eye pillow covered with muslin, and we use these for our different gemstone massages. But you have chakra stones here in the proper order that you can meditate with. Now, I want to thank Shankara for helping me get this off the ground because they asked about this about 1.5 years ago. And so it got me thinking about it, looking into it, and finding stones from our sources in Europe who had all the same size and were very high quality of stones. Let me say something about quality of stones. There are stones and there are stones. And there are stones. So we have worked so much with high quality dealers that I don't know anything else. But if I pick up an inexpensive form of stone or maybe a fake stone, because some of the dealers will try to pawn off on you stones that if you don't know, they don't want you to know, and they're going to sell it to you. I'm just telling you those kind of things. You'll feel you can really see and feel the difference. So if you start to work with us, we can help educate you a little bit on the quality of stones and working with them. These are all the same sizes and shapes, which I wanted to do if I'm going to work with chakra, and then I need to experiment with it. So I have been napping. When I take a nap or meditation in the middle of the day, I lay these stones out from the top of the head, down the chest, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh chakra, and I meditate probably for 20 or 30 minutes with them. And I have not been able to tell the difference with my eyes closed, but I'm starting to get really good. So that when I'm finished or when I'm putting them on, I try to hold it and hold feel the energy, feel the energy, feel the energy, feel the energy. And then I look and see if I've got it right. And I'm getting right most all the time. It's just a sense, but it brings you to that quiet meditation, quiet time that you're really learning and thinking about it. And then I find when I go back to the office, I'm really good again. I've got a lot of energy and I'm ready to go. And you know, those red jaspers, well, y'all can just know me and you know that the red jasper is it. Did I miss something here? The red jasper. Oh, well, this is a tourmaline, and I have this made for EMFs. And I like to keep this wherever near me in the office to get rid of those EMFs. It can work as a pendulum, but again, my pendulum experts tell me only use copper and only use my stones. But and it's with a clear quartz end, but it is black tourmaline, and I can hang this on the door or hang it anywhere. I've actually used this as a bookmarker. That's what I do. I use it as a bookmarker. Think about it. You got a book, you want to save the place, and you don't want to put the page turner down. Just stick this in the book and close it up. Works just beautifully. Works just beautifully. All right. Let's see. Do you have some questions at this point for me?
Yes, we have a lot of questions. So we will go back a little bit.
Okay.
Do you have a preference potency of the VitaJewel water bottles, VIA or INU? What do you think of gemstone? Oh, it's a different question, but she wants to know, what do you think of gemstone facial rollers?
Big question.
Gemstone facial rollers. Well, these were the facial rollers. These short little acupressure point tips that we get, I can only find about 6 different types of stone in those in the United States right now. And I hope that answers that question. That's why I like the Joya, because I have about 18 different stones that go in these for facial rollers. This is really a great product. Anytime you work with a sphere, let me explain something to you. A sphere's energy is going to come off from all sides. So this is the most powerful form of stone that you can use anywhere, anytime, especially on the body. There's just energy coming constantly. You think about it like the sun, the rays of the sun. But then when you take it and you put it into a product, you can actually feel the difference, because you're not getting it all around, but it's easier to use. And a lot of massage therapists have trouble rolling these. I actually have a technique and I show them and I work with that, but it takes a little while to get the habit and the practice of that down. Whereas this is a better product, easier to use when you're starting, because it just rolls. You're still getting this to turn for you and you're getting more energy. And that does come in a bigger piece. We had, where was, oh, here and here. Okay, so this does too. But if I use this sphere all by itself and work it on the body, I'm going to get far more energy, no matter what, hands down, than when I put it in here. This is the next best thing. Because we drop these, and we don't want to drop them on a hard floor, and then you got them cracking and whatnot. So that's the Joya. And this is the only way to use this on the hips, because it's hard to take an individual sphere and work your hips and work some of those bigger muscle groups. So I have to think in terms of, okay, what would I use at home, which I do, but what would I use in the spa if I'm a massage therapist, or I usually teach, 18 to 27 people in a session. So some of them really get it, but some of them have a hard time working with their hands. They're not that dexterous.
Awesome.
Does that answer that one?
Another one is, when you say very energetic, like red jasper, what do you mean, and what is the best use?
Remember, stones have 3 different energy levels. Some are very active, some are neutral, and some are very balancing. So you can use a balancing with a neutral, or an active with a neutral, like clear quartz. Think about clear quartz as your carrier here. That's neutral. But you can't use the balancing one with the active one, because that negates the properties of the stone being used together.
Cindy, give them an example of one of the blends, please, so they can understand.
Does it blend like here?
Yeah, let's talk about it. Talk about this blend.
All right, so as you see with this blend, there's 3 different stones here. It looks very busy to you because it's just the quality of the stone. But you have the unakite stone, and then you have the ruby zoisite. That's a very, very powerful stone in itself. And then we have sea jasper. Those energies all go together because they're very active. This is an active group of stones. This group is actually very good for cancer patients, for people wanting that just ran 20 miles and they need to re-energize themselves. This is a very active group of stones. You can see it in the stone. In fact, this zoisite and ruby is probably the one of the most powerful stones of all. And when I work with this, you could almost jump off the table because that's how powerful it is. It's powerful in a good way. It makes you feel good, regenerated again. It gets things moving. It really works on a cellular level. And even our poultices have the same stones in them that we use. All the same grouping. So there's just 3 different set pieces here. The only other stone here is an agate. And because we have no other dealer that makes these, and we get this from Marco in Germany, he makes these agate. And remember, agate is neutral. Agate is neutral. So I can put this neutral stone into here. I can always add the neutral to the active stones. And I can take this neutral agate comb and use it with a more balancing, relaxing set.
Speaking of where you're sourcing it, someone asked a good question because they're so prevalent in stores now. She's seeing a lot of like made in China or from China. How can you source stones more sustainably?
That's a great question. I'm going to be doing a lot of that myself right now moving forward. Although we can still get stones from Germany, even through this time. They're sourcing them a lot out of Asia, and then he mines and refines them and works with the stone and making it usable for massage tools in Germany. But I have 2 issues with China. A lot of stones come from Asia. Naturally, they're in the earth, so they have a lot of the stones. However, at the same time, they sell stones to a lot of places, and they're not great quality, and they might not be the stone that they're selling. So it's just sort of it's a love-hate relationship. So you've got to understand and know your stones, to know where you're buying them, where they're coming from, and where they're being sourced from, and is it legit? You know, because some places that sell stones, it was child labor used, or other things that are not good. So I'm really careful about where I buy my stones and where we get our sets. Remember, we work with 7 sets, and I've done a lot of individual sets for new wellness properties that I've had to source the stones. So if I tell a property I can't source them because I can't get the stone that you want, I really can't, because I don't know where I can get that quality of stone made in massage tools. See, this is specifically a massage tool. It's heavy, it's powerful, but I don't see this in America very much. And I've not seen an American dealer make those very well. Yeah, tourmaline maybe, and obsidian. If I can find it, if I can get it.
Sharon is asking to clarify, going back to like energizing. She said, do you mean that you cannot use an energizing stone where energy is stagnant in the body and a balancing stone where there's an agitation in the body?
No, I'm not saying that. If there's an agitation in the body, I'd rather use more of a balancing stone on the person. If I'm able to find that out by use of a pendulum or her just telling me that. See, remember, I sell to spas who are putting this into their menus however they want to. They use what I suggest, but they might word it differently or put it in their own words. So I just try to find out what the body needs.
So if you, in a spa treatment after, how would you sanitize them between each appointment?
just an organic soap and water, and you put them underneath warm water and you rub them. So you're getting rid of all the information that might be left on the stone. Hold them under water, let them rinse off, and then lay them out on a cloth, and they'll dry within seconds, just seconds.
Perfect. And on your website, they're only seeing home options, not professional ones. How would they order them?
You know, we have not really done this before and looked at stones that are just for your house and how you use them. I'm the only one that has. But I will tell you, anybody that comes anywhere near my house, they're like, oh my gosh, they got so much energy over there. And there's some people that can't even take so much energy sometimes. I have to put them in the calmer area. So we hadn't done a whole lot of this. So I now will work with my web people this weekend, starting to put some things up. And Megan, what I was going to tell you is that I'm going to put a sort of a collection together with some prices, some very special prices just for you guys, on an email, so that you can try some of the things, like maybe the Joya pieces or the facial pieces or the Joya hip rollers, just some of the different items you might be interested in, so that they can purchase those to use them themselves. And we will be moving forward looking at a lot of new things, as we all have the last 9 months, looking at a lot of new things quickly.
That's for sure.
Yeah, right. Did I answer that sufficiently?
I believe so.
Okay.
Sharon, you can tell me different. Yes, she says.
It's not Sharon Naduzi. Sharon?
No,
Okay.
I think.
we might be good.
Yeah.
You know, you Tucson girls, you had some Tucson people on last time. Maggie and somebody else that was down there, and they have a place, their business out of Tucson. We do a lot of shopping at Tucson. However, the gem show going into this next year is canceled.
Right.
And that's very challenging for all of us that are in the gemstone business. We also like to get down there because we have known the people at Miraval and worked with them. And then we also work with Miraval Berkshire, back where you are. So they have our sets back there as well. And it's just, I feel like Tucson is our gemstone go-to. It's every year we need to go down there. We need to get cleansed and healed and be around the stones and do our shopping, wholesale, and all these different things, because the dealers come in from all over the world. So this will affect the world's gem market altogether.
Yeah, it'll be hard
to challenging for us. Yeah,
it'll be hard to purchase them, virtually when you can't touch them.
Right. But we're going to try to do some things on our website where we can show the stones in individual pictures and so forth in a different way, so people can see what we have. We're working on that, because, and we also really will create drop boxes that we can send out of the different stones, the sizes and shapes. But I'm a very personal person. So every client that I've worked with on the property, I'll start with their spa director and then work down and then be on the property. So now what we're going to do, instead of traveling, is put all of this education online so that the massage therapist can access it how they want to and learn from us. And then I would do a live webinar with them to teach them, because I'm very much a hands-on person, very much. Yeah.
Great. Another question quickly, should sets be purchased by the treatment room? And is it okay for different therapists to use them?
Yes, when you cleanse the energy from the stone or the information from a massage appointment, when you cleanse it, the stone is ready to be used again. Only about once a week or once every 2 weeks should you really get those stones cleansed from a moonlight, sunlight, or getting them out into the air somewhere. Yeah.
Great.
They're easier to take care of than you think. They really are. They're easier to use around your house than you think. So you just got to start by using certain things for certain reasons. Oh, but the office set, oh my gosh, it's like over the top great. I have everywhere. And then, you stuff that amber right down in your pants, if you wear leggings, so forth, just tape it on there. Actually, we worked with a guy out of Germany who would tape the stones, literally take slivers and tape them on certain areas to get rid of scarring, because tourmaline can actually break up scar tissue. So if you use the tourmaline taped onto a scar that might be someplace on your elbow or whatever, slowly the scar should disappear. Now, I've not done a lot of taping of stones here in the United States, and I haven't even done it on myself because I wear leggings and tight things enough that I can put the stones wherever I need to. I don't put them in my bra. Many people do. That's just, you know what I'm talking about. It's what's been interesting, and I will tell you this because you're very professional people that are on this call and part of Green Spa. It's been challenging to separate these so-called gemstone places in order to separate that level of business attitude, I'm trying to say this in the right words, to the upgraded spa who wants to incorporate gemstone massage. And when you get in with the massage therapist, there's only about 5 or 10% of them that can even take on this work because they feel it naturally. And I learn so much when I'm around them because they end up teaching me. They'll feel it. They're going, oh, I can feel it. I know what you're talking about. And I'm so glad that our property has the gemstones. So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Cindy, that was
Yes.
amazing. Thank you for sharing all of your knowledge with us. That was really awesome. So thank you so much for being with us this afternoon.
Well, and I will leave you with something. We might be able to do something next year that would be about medicinal properties of the gemstones and why you would use them in certain ways. You know, literally for headaches and just very specific things. So
Good timing for that.
I know, right?
I left your email in the chat too, so feel free to send me.
Okay, great. And then I'll get something to you about a collection put together and some very special prices.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome so much. Thank you for having me. And thank you very, very much. Be well. Be healthy.
You too, Cindy. Take care. Happy Thanksgiving.
To you as well.
All right. Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Thank you, Megan, as ever.
Oh.
And have a great day, everybody.